Hi everyone, welcome to the channel Sluggers. I'm Anupam Mishra. I'll provide a more detailed introduction about myself and the channel towards the end of the session. Right now, let's jump into the 23rd type of error of the series 50 most essential grammatical errors for the XAT. Okay. However, I would like to first state that this is not just a random list of 50 grammatical errors that we have just come up with. There's in fact quite a logical process involved in creating this list, and the same process I've explained that in detail in a separate video, which you can access by clicking on the link on the top right corner of your video. Okay, so this diagram pertains to that. I've explained all of this in that video there. Okay, so you can watch that if you want. Now, finally, we shall take up the third parameter of agreement between a pronoun and its antecedent, right? Last time, the last two sessions, we discussed number and gender. Finally, it has to be the case. Now, the rule is very simple. Like, case basically refers to the subject or object case of the antecedent of the pronoun, right? So if you say, for example, Rahul is driving the car, the subject is Rahul, and car is object, right? So if you want to use a pronoun for Rahul, it has to be the subject case. If you want to use a pronoun for car, which it has to be the object case. Well, in case of car, the object and subject case might be same often, but yes, but you have to like ensure that it is the object case if it is for the object antecedent, and subject case for the subject antecedent. So antecedent as subject, so subject case of pronoun, antecedent is object, object case of pronoun. Okay, enough repetition. So let's start with the sentence. First is sentence says Frodo and her decided to leave the Shire behind and go on a world tour. Achha, how do you decide whether an item or an antecedent is subject or object? But you look at the action being undertaken. Okay, always look at what is the action being undertaken. Once you know what the action is, then obviously you can figure out, okay, who's the person who's on the doing side of the action, who's the doer, that will be your subject, and who's on the other side, who's on the other receiving side of the action, that will be your object. Simple. Okay, so in this case, Frodo and her, both of them, they decided to leave the Shire, right? So what is the action here? The action is deciding to leave the Shire behind and going on a world tour, right? So these are the actions. So who's committing the actions? Who's on the doer side? The doer side, like Frodo and her, they are on the doer side, right? Now her refers to a particular person here, which has not been mentioned. I guess Frodo wanted to be discreet about it. I wanted us to be discreet about it. But anyhow, jokes aside, it's a subject case, right? This is the like it is this pronoun is supposed to function as a subject here, and hence it would be wrong to use an objective case of the pronoun here. You cannot use her here. Okay, you'd want to use she here. Frodo and she decided to leave the Shire behind and, excuse me, go on a world tour. Okay, look at the next one. The masked gentleman who followed Mr. Fogg around the globe is he. Now this might sound like a sentence which is like, it is quite a little not very intuitive, that's for sure. You'd rather probably be more comfortable with this word being him, but I'll tell you what, that's not correct. It should be he. And then again, the question arises, well, how can we say that this is the object, this is the subject case, right? If using he is correct here, that means this should be functioning as a subject. Well, it is. I'll tell you how. The masked gentleman who followed Mr. Fogg around the globe is he. Like look at the action. What is the action? The action is following Mr. Fogg around the globe, right? That is the action. Who's doing that action? Is Mr. Fogg doing the action, undertaking the action, following himself around the globe, right? No, it's this masked gentleman. So who's doing the action? Masked gentleman is the subject thus. So the pronoun is for the subject here, and hence it has to be a subject case of the pronoun. Okay, so that's why it should be he. See, that's why I've written here. Always look for the action that is being undertaken. Okay, to help you avoid any kind of confusion. It will help you clarify things. So in this case, guys, A is incorrect, B is correct. Let's look at a few more examples. He's shorter than I, or he's shorter than me. Which one do you think should be correct? Again, look at the action. Well, in this case, it is just a state of being, right? I understand. He is like, it's just about being shorter or not being shorter. So he is shorter than I. See, in these cases, it is beneficial to understand that most of these sentences, kind of have a omit the part that is understood, and in this case the part that is understood is I am. Okay, so and then now if you read this, he's shorter than I am, it makes sense that it makes it clear that I is definitely the subject here. Okay, and because it's the subject, then you cannot use me here, you have to use I here. So that's correct. So that's why it is always he's shorter than I, he's taller than I, or something like that, right? So this will be incorrect. Next, it is me or it is I. It is the correct usage here will be it is I, not it is me. Again, think of it like being part of a sentence where you would probably it is I for what? Like it is I for something, right? So maybe there is an understood maybe there is a response to some other question where which is probably should go on the lines of it is I who drove all the way from some place. So again, you can see this again happens to be in the place of a subject, right? So like it is I will never be a standalone sentence. Like it will always be part of a dialogue or something, and then thus it implies that I is like I who did something, I who did that, I who was sitting there or something like that. So again, I will be the subject form, right? So hence it is I will be correct. He, she shorter than I will be correct. It is me will be incorrect. He shorter than me will be incorrect. Okay. Now give this a shot by yourself. The sentence says, who should I talk to about reserving a seat at the theater? Okay. See, the hint is look for the action that is being undertaken. Okay. Let me know what you think should be the correct version of the sentence, if any, in the comment section. Finally, guys, my quick introduction. I'm Anupam Mishra and I'm Lucknow alumnus. I have worked in the past with organizations such as Hotstar, UNICEF, Apollo TAS, IMS, etc. I've also worked with an academy as an educator in the past, recognized by their Johnny Ive Award. And I was regarded as one of the top VRC educators that they had. These are my CAT credentials, and Sluggers is basically my endeavor to plug in all the crucial gaps that I believe there are in the test prep industry, starting with the CAT exam. Okay, now, yeah, so that's about me. Do move on to the next era. Okay.